Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Heart of the Swarm, a StarCraft 2 campaign with Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we have just finished up the Back in the Saddle mission. They have an IFF scanner. Haha. I know what that means. Well, no, I know what that... okay, I know what it's trying to tell me is the thing. I don't actually know what it translates to.
Jim.
I think it's internal friend or foe.
Jim.
We couldn't get him out.
Why?
Valerian. You left him behind.
Hold it there, Anakin.
And yeah, this is why we don't fuck with Kerrigan.
There is no us.
As one of the most powerful, psionics in the StarCraft lore, don't piss Kerrigan off.
IFF negative. Multiple hostiles inside the perimeter.
Dominion
And they
battle
have warp.
cruisers.
Hull breach. Frame 7, deck 3. Defensive maneuver Delta 4. Prep all stations for jump.
No one is going anywhere until I see Jim.
Shields at 30. Failure imminent.
How are shields at 30 when that was a direct Yamato cannon?
Abandon ship!
My father will sacrifice any piece on the chessboard to take the queen.
Which is kind of stupid.
That's a good
you know,
analogy.
If you sacrifice 2 knights and 2 rooks to take a single queen, you're pretty much dead.
We need to work together.
Do what you want.
Although for me, I would be sacrificing 2 bishops and 2 rooks because I'm not good with my knights, like at all.
Well, it's about telling a story and then playing the character accordingly.
Alright, so here we are starting with Rendezvous. For some reason, the additional achievements aren't showing up here, which actually I'm not sure if they do for the Heart of the Swarm campaign. I know they do for some of the missions. At least I think they do.
Yeah, there must be an old hive here. I'm more worried about the Dominion.
Ground team, this is Fleet. What is your status?
Apparently,
Yeah, I
Kerrigan
wouldn't
has
be.
the ability to spy on Dominion comms from Rainer's shuttle.
Eliminate all stragglers as they warp to these coordinates. We'll return for you. Fleet out.
Retrieving radio frequencies.
Ship as soon as he enters orbit. He'll never see it coming.
This is actually a very flimsy reason for this mission, but we don't know why until later.
Army.
I mean, you don't need an army. You just need, you just got to get through their anti-air support.
No, we don't have active stealth anymore. I don't know why Kerrigan lost Cloak in between the games, but she did.
Who are you?
My queen, I am Nactul, a brood mother.
My queen, my queen.
In your control of the swarm. Have you returned to us?
I'm not your queen, and I haven't returned.
Which is it, Kerrigan? It can't be both.
Destroy the Terran cannon right now.
Most of my brood is with me. I can send them to you, but it will take time.
Right, you're not queen. You're just, doing everything a queen does.
Yup.
Meanwhile, I'm going to prepare this hive for combat. The Dominion would have tracked my ship, and they'll be looking for me.
Alright, so here's our first actual build mission with the Zerg. Yes, on hard and brutal, this is honestly the hardest mission. At least on hard, this is the hardest mission for me in the campaign. I hate this mission on hard, but mostly because of getting the additional achievements. They send a lot at you relatively early on.
Yeah, I could defend myself if you gave me weapons and stuff. And a good strategy and know-how.
Well, Kerrigan is actually a great goddamn weapon. As previously mentioned, she's got the abilities Kinetic Blast and Crushing Grip right now. And Kinetic Blast will one-shot a majority of anything that we come up against. And Crushing Grip is actually good AoE. I'm just terrible with it.
Heading out.
Boink. I wish Kerrigan had as fast attack speed as Marines did. It would make microing her significantly easier for me.
Soldiers guarding the cave entrances.
found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
And she's shooting the crap out of us.
Reinforcements.
The Dominion found us. They're going to hit us hard.
Yeah. Well, Kerrigan's gonna need a medic pretty soon. Oh, there you go.
There's our medic. We managed to rescue a queen. The queen is our new unit. It is primarily a support unit, but not only is it a support unit, it is a fucking amazing support unit. The queen is effectively a nerf to the Hydralisk from StarCraft 1 and Brood War, because unfortunately the Hydralisks got really nerfed going into this game. We'll explain why this later. But the Queen is our early anti-air unit, and yeah, they're not great in combat, to be perfectly honest. But what they are is amazing support units. They have the ability to transfuse and spawn creep tuner. Transfuse provides a heal over time for any biological units that you can target with it, and spawn creep tuner allows you to extend your the range of your creep through, spawning additional creep tumors. Creep tumors were not a thing in the original StarCraft 1, and I'm kind of glad that they weren't, although it made spreading creep through colonies significantly, well, very important, but a thing that I never learned how to do. I still, to this day, do not know all the bonuses that Zerg has on creep in StarCraft 1. In StarCraft 2, you get additional movement speed and attack speed, as well as additional health regen whilst on creep, meaning creep management is one of the most important things to learn for a Zerg player. It is also why I will never be good as Zerg, because I refuse to learn how the fuck to spread creep early. It is just not a thing I want to learn how to do.
Trying to think of a good comparison between creep, like setting the board and then... Right, it's the difference between setting up your board first or just using any board as you see fit.
Right.
Most players
yes and no.
kind of
You see,
like
even,
the option of...
The big thing that
yeah.
you need to remember about the Zerg is that, especially in StarCraft 1, Zerg have always been the most aggressive playstyle to play in the StarCraft universe, and it's explicitly because Zerglings, despite not being very effective, are very cheap to produce in mass and very effective to have in mass. But being good with Zerglings and being good with Zerg are technically two slightly different things. I am not good with either of them, so there.
Well, you know that because you get more bang for your buck getting Swarmlings out, that your early game, you're mostly going to be concentrating on just laying waste to your opponent's forces because they can't produce at as high a rate.
And some more Zerglings to help defend, because we're about to lose our spawn crawlers up there. You'll notice that I actually pushed a little bit further into the enemy main base. When I was going up there for our bonus objective, which is rescuing the Swarm Queens, it's because we will eventually be attacking the northern base on both fronts, and we can do that because, well, we produce more units than they do. So yeah.
Exactly. Strength in numbers.
I'm also trying to spread out as much creep as I can, because having more creep means it's easier for me to engage on things. Yep. And yes, outside of creep, queens are one of the slowest goddamn ground units ever. Look how slow that queen at the bottom there is moving. It's just
I saw
very
that.
slow.
Like, I need my chair.
And this early on in the campaign, you need queens in order to do freaking anything. Zerglings just aren't a good enough combat unit to deal with the majority of the threats that we're facing. And Kerrigan's kinetic blast will carry you a long way, but not long enough.
Meanwhile, back at the base...
We are producing more Zerglings.
There is a large Dominion force on its way to the Hive Cluster.
Well, there was. Our Zerglings answered it.
Like, is this the way that the Zerg were coordinating this whole time? They're talking to each other?
Not the whole time, but a good amount of the time. And this is exactly why I dislike this mission on harder difficulties. I don't have an answer to Wraiths right now. Like, I've got a couple of spore crawlers. I've got a couple of spore crawlers on my base, but my primary attack and defense force is out on the map trying to get shit done, and it can't. And because of that, I don't have any answers to air right now. And this is a problem that bothers me with Zerg's design philosophy in all of StarCraft 2. Without the Hydralisks, our anti-air options are fucking terrible.
Well, Kerrigan's got anti-air because
Kerrigan has anti-air on kinetic blast and on her rifle, but her attack speed being lower than the Marines means I don't want to use her as my answer to for anti-air like ever. Mostly because kinetic blast is better used against actual threats, and wraiths are not actual threats. They're just constantly being annoying.
Coming in, we're minding our own business.
We're trying to get there, Noctool. We're having difficulties with our queens on this production facility. Okay.
Noctool, you're about to make me feel things when I ultimately kill you. I am not your
We don't kill Noctool, thankfully. Noctool doesn't join the swarm until much later on, but we don't actually kill Noctool here.
Yes, the swarm.
Safety's off. What is it?
All right, go rescue the queen before Noctool arrives. There is a specific achievement for the anniversary release on the hard mode that took me fucking forever to get. Matter of fact, I still don't know if I've gotten it yet. But for this mission, if you manage to take down the entirety of the Terran Dominion base before Noctool arrives on hard mode, you get an anniversary achievement for it. It's one that I straight up don't think I will ever be able to do. I'm not entirely sure if I did manage to do it yet. But the big reason is because the Dominion forces, once you start playing on hard mode, start sending in additional siege tanks, start having slightly more Marines in their compositions, and you have to effectively take down 3 different production centers in order to actually get the achievement.
We gotta take them all out so that reinforcements ain't got nothing left to save.
Well, some of these reinforcements they have on the ground. They have on the ground at the start of the mission. So.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Oh, so Noctool is our adjutant, I see.
No,
okay.
Noctool is not our adjutant. Noctool is just a support unit that we will have once we actually survive for another 3.5 minutes.
I gotcha.
All right. Well. Here's the thing I noticed when a Marine base gets attacked, adjutant says base is under attack. When a Zerg hive gets attacked,
that's saying that.
hatchery.
It's the general voice announcer for the Zerg, and the general voice announcer for the Zerg is in fact the normal queen. Noctool's voice is technically deeper than the normal queen's. It sounds very similar though. You have a point there.
Scripting.
What is it?
No, wait for the tumor to spawn. Make sure all of our units are on creep, and then go.
Attack! Move in. Overwhelm. Destroy. Move in. Overwhelm. Destroy.
We're attempting to do all of those things, but unfortunately attack move makes it so that our Zerglings keep deciding which targets are a bigger threat. Usually they're good enough to focus on Marauders, but Marauders, being relatively decent ranged units, mean that our Zerglings end up, having problems getting into effective combat range for them. Yes, I am desperately waiting for the time for us to actually unlock the Zergling evolution mission because that is when I think that the Heart of the Swarm campaign gets to be really good once we start unlocking the evolution missions. Mostly because the units that we get access to with the evolution missions are great. But yay, we defeated all the Terran Dominion buildings on the outside, so Noctool shows up a whole minute early. Haha!
Yay, we did it.
They are yours to command, my queen.
Perfect. Now let's get up to their base and destroy that cannon before Jim arrives.
Most of what Nactul brings to us is additional Zerglings, which is kind of sad, but...
Now we can have up to 200.
If you wish to command all of your forces in battle, there is a way to control them all at once.
We call
Yes,
it
the F2 button,
hotkeys,
which is a
my
thing
queen.
that you will learn about immediately if you start Legacy of the Void.
Work to be done.
And that Swarm Queen in the front of the army is going to be a problem because Swarm Queens have negative movement speed. Dang it! And this is a problem with not having your army in the correct formations. Behold, as my Swarm Queens decide to take the brunt of the assault, while my flood of Zerglings is trapped behind them.
Yep. And because
This isn't a pathing issue, for the record. This is an issue with this is an issue specifically with how formations are handled in StarCraft 2.
I don't think we have to worry.
I mean, it looks like it's a pathing issue, but it's not. This is definitely something that I could and should have compensated for, but chose not to.
Oh, that was easy.
Yes, once Nactul shows up, the mission is effectively over.
Once the cannon is destroyed.
The Terrans are fleeing to their ships.
Kill them all.
No one gets out alive.
No one here gets out alive now.
The Queen?
She's been calling you Queen the entire time, Kerrigan. It's not a surprise. Come on.
Slipping back into something that... I have to get out of here.
Run away from your transformation, Kerrigan. Run away!
Run away! You can't hide from your feelings, Kerrigan.
We will await your return.
And she does, like a very good Brood Queen. In the next episode, we will start with the best goddamn cutscene in the entirety of StarCraft 2. Don't at me.
Whoa.
Be safe, everybody.
Zerg save the queen.